Washington. Details of a summit meeting between President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will be announced on Thursday, a U.S. official has told CNN. This official would not offer more details, but Helsinki, Finland, remains a leading site contender for the two leaders' meeting. Russia also says that the two will be holding a summit, and that the time and place have been agreed upon, according to Putin's aide Yuri Ushakov, as quoted by state news agency RIA Novosti. Details on the Trump-Putin summit will be announced jointly with our American colleagues on Thursday, says Ushakov. He also said the summit will happen in a third country. On Tuesday, two sources familiar with the matter said it was possible Trump's meeting with Putin could take place on July 10 before his other European stops. More details about the summit were expected as early as Wednesday when Trump's national security advisor John Bolton met with his Russian counterparts in Moscow. Before his arrival, it wasn't clear whether he would meet with Putin. But on Wednesday, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov indicated the two men would sit for talks. Peskov said the meeting could be used as an opportunity to exchange opinions on major international problems. This list is quite clear and obvious, as well as the poor state of our bilateral relations. Trump, meanwhile, is renewing his censure of NATO on the campaign trail ahead of his upcoming visit to the defense bloc's headquarters. And in London, protesters are devising ways to disrupt the president's long-delayed visit to the United Kingdom. The parallel activities will collide in 2 weeks, when Trump departs for Europe on a trip intended to shore up alliances but more likely to reveal their strain. After this month's G7 meeting ended in recriminations between allies, there is little expectation among European and U.S. diplomats of an easygoing time. U.S. officials have proceeded as if Trump will meet Putin in mid-July around his stops in Brussels for the NATO talks and the UK for a working visit. On Tuesday, a senior U.S. official said Helsinki, the capital of Finland, had emerged as a strong possibility to host the summit. The Austrian capital Vienna had also been previously mentioned as a venue, though the official suggested that option had now been largely ruled out. Putin is operating on a strict schedule. His country hosts the World Cup final on July 15. NATO members have pressed for the Putin meeting to occur after the NATO summit, one White House official said, citing concerns Trump might agree to something with Putin that they are then forced to go along with. The prospect of a meeting with Putin, which Trump first raised during a congratulatory phone call in March, has sent ripples of consternation through European capitals. Some leaders fear a campaign to isolate Moscow for its destabilizing activities could be quickly undone by an eager-to-please Trump. It's the uncertainty, one Western official said in explaining European concerns at a Trump-Putin meeting. No one knows what he'll walk out saying. Ahead of that summit, held at a riverside hotel in rural Quebec, Trump questioned whether he really needed to attend. On the evening before his departure, he engaged in a Twitter spat with his French and Canadian counterparts. He arrived late, missing a planned meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron, and departed early, leaving other leaders to discuss oceans and the environment without him. At the same time, he appeared eager for his second stop in Singapore, the site of his highly anticipated sit-down with Kim Jong-un. He emerged from those talks to announce he was cancelling joint U.S.-South Korea military exercises, which he deemed provocative. Upon his return, he snidely questioned the intentions of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who he refers to simply as Justin, while repeatedly marveling at his chemistry with the North Korean dictator, who he now addresses as Chairman Kim. In Europe, Trump will again come across U.S. allies concerned about deep strains in their relationships before proceeding onward to a summit with an adversary, one he's been intent on convening, even as some of his aides question the timing and wisdom of such an encounter. Trump has displayed a more conciliatory attitude toward Russia in recent weeks, including urging G7 leaders in Canada to reinstate Putin in their group after he was expelled for Russia's 2014 incursion into Ukraine. In his March phone call, Trump discarded his aide's advice in congratulating Putin on his re-election, despite widespread accusations of voter fraud. He even raised the idea of hosting the event at the White House. It's bad for